got work gloves on?
Yes.
Hang on to it. Just like that. Keep it from spinning if you can. Rotate it. Rotate. Up higher.
Oh boy.
Rotate. Rotate. It's going to get short. Rotate. Okay, hang on. Okay. Pull the can apart. So there's our filter. You can set the can aside. Just set it aside. Let's get out here in the sun where we can see down inside of the okay. Stop recording. So now we're going to cut this filter open and we're going to pull the pleats apart and see if there's anything inside the pleats. Let's go ahead and rotate. Get back clear over here if you can. I don't think we're going to find anything in here, but we want to look at the pleats and see if there's big chunks of trash, aluminum, steel, something like that in there. To the top end. Okay. So we cut this filter apart with an air chisel so we wouldn't get too much debris in there. It's better than a saw blade or a hacksaw, grinding wheel. We just want to know what's inside the pleats. We sent in an oil sample for this car. It came back clean with no appreciable materials inside the oil, so we think that we aren't going to find anything here, and of course that's the desirable part, is that we don't find anything. Okay, so this is a quality oil filter. And these pleats will catch the debris that comes up from the sump through the oil pump. And when I get it pulled out here, I'll show you just how many feet are inside this little tiny oil filter that's probably 3 inches across. Okay, so there's the seam. So there's about 1.5 feet of material right there, maybe a little more. I don't see any debris that's captured in the pleats. There's a little bit of glue and some sediments probably from when it was made. And then we go to the larger section, and this is probably 3.5 feet long. And I got a piece of plastic from filter manufacturing, but I don't see any shiny flakes at all, none. So I don't see anything here that's of concern, which backs up our oil analysis. But the problem is 2 other shops have said that they found oil or metal inside of the oil filter. And on this filter, I would have to disagree. I find no sediment whatsoever. One little tiny speck right there that looks like maybe copper. Another speck right here that's maybe aluminum. So out of all of this filter material, there's another little tiny one there. Three pieces? My thoughts are that this engine is intact and there isn't any major problem occurring. I think somebody's been trying to sell them an engine. It does have head gaskets leaking. It's a Subaru, and the only fix for that is an expensive take it apart, put new head gaskets in it. But I don't see anything, nothing that's concerning. And the oil analysis came back negative, so I think this engine's fine. Needs head gaskets. This is the filter media out of an 09 Subaru. Customers worried about internal engine problems. Another shop said that they pulled metal shavings out of a filter, and I'm disagreeing with that on this particular oil change. This filter was clean. The only particles that we found in the remaining oil that was inside the can of the oil filter that we could see with a naked eye and a magnifying glass was from the actual cut of the can off of the filter. But there's 3 little tiny pieces of sediment in here in this entire filter. It's got 3,000 miles on the oil change, or at least that's what I believe it to be. And I don't really find a problem. So I think that somebody's just trying to sell an engine job on this car instead of doing the head gaskets. So 100,000 miles is not uncommon to have Subarus that need head gasket jobs. They start to leak oil and antifreeze both. So in this particular case, the heater stinks because the head gasket's leaking right onto the catalytic converter, and it's smoking. So, you know, it's not very pleasant to drive in the wintertime, but summertime, you'd never know it probably.